Hi there, and welcome to the Project Corner. It's been a while, but I'm back. Just to recap a little bit, I have kind of been slacking in my every 2 weeks a new video. But why was that? I had to move, I got sick, I got caught up in a very busy schedule on work, but I moved and I'm feeling better. I might cough a bit, but I'll edit that out, so don't worry about that. Welcome to my first video in 2020, and I have a lot to celebrate. For one, I got more than 300 subscribers to the YouTube channel. Thank you all very much. This is exactly why I wanted to do this. Having people share this information and the watch time has just skyrocketed lately, and even without me doing any videos, so that's amazing. But I'm going to pick up my schedule again, and this is going to be my first video of the year. But again, I'm going to pick up the pace. Every 2 weeks there's going to be a new video, so keep viewing. So my first video for 2020 is going to be a follow-up video on the creating a risk matrix in Power BI report for Project Online. Now, why do I want to do a recap or a follow-up post? Well, it's been immensely popular. It has been crazy. Just if you're only watching this on YouTube, I have a blog post describing how to create that risk matrix in detail. And I have, of course, the risk matrix video itself, and you might be familiar with this. You might be one of the 6,000 people that viewed this. And that's a mind-boggling number for me. But there have been a number of questions. Mostly people are very enthusiastic about it, and they like it, and they pick it up very fast. But sometimes I get questions, and I love questions because that's when I know that there's interaction happening. So, 3 main questions that I want to solve today and I want to expand on today. One of them is, how do I get this report? How do I get the content of what you're showing, and what do I need to do? I have clicked on the subscribe button here, and I have clicked on the bell, and I have done all those things. Great. But actually, let's dive into the video itself. And this video that you're watching now is going to have the same thing. So when you're going down and you're going into the show descriptions, there's a button that says show more, and then here is the newsletter. As soon as you subscribe to that one, you will get more information from me each month, or maybe each 2 months. But on a regular basis, you'll get an email. And that email will start the day after you signed up, thanks to the lovely guys and girls at MailChimp. So what happens? If you click on this button here, you will get a sign-up form. You enter a valid email address, you accept the terms, and you go ahead and click subscribe. Then you will be one of the 100 plus people that actually get a newsletter from the Project Corner vlog, which is very exciting because you get this little email the day after. Let me see, is that actually the day after? Well, this is an automated mail. Everybody knows and loves automation, right? At least I hope you do. This is the first email that you get. And this email with your lovely name, obviously, instead of test first name, but it has one button, one call for action, and that get your TPC YouTube extra here. If you click on that button, you will be redirected to a URL that I've hidden here. Because otherwise you wouldn't need to sign up, right? And what happens then is you get navigated to, so what happens next is you get navigated to this page. And this is the Project Corner followers YouTube. This is the Project Corner followers share folder. In here, I share important information that you can distill from my videos. Now, one of them is obviously the risk matrix. And with that risk matrix, you get these 4 items. So you get the grid, you get the 25 grid, you get the content pack, and you get the new measures and query. So that's one of the things that I wanted to share with you. So if you are excited about this video, if you want to have that content, there's a very simple way to do that, and that is by subscribing to the newsletter. And you can either go to the newsletter for the blog, which also has a newsletter, or a newsletter to the YouTube channel. Both have a share folder specifically for my subscribers. And those subscribers get that nice little content for free. So the second thing that I wanted to share with you is a question that I got from multiple viewers of the previous video. And that question was, can I actually use this grid from a Excel file instead of using Project Online? Well, let's explore this, because what do you actually need? You will need a probability and an impact value, and some other values. Obviously, you need to have a project number, and you have to have a risk number. But with that, this is a very simple, basic Excel file. The risk matrix part 2. This is also going to be part of that shared folder. Here you have the project name, you have a risk name, you have a responsible, you have a due date, you have a probability, impact, and a cost. So that's way more than you need, because you would actually just need this one and these 2 values. But let's continue on this track, because this is very interesting. So let's select the whole list and let's format this as a table. And let's choose green because we love project. And let's give this table the name table underscore risk. And let's do the same for issues. And this is going to be for part number or question number 3. What do I do with my risks, with my issues? So table underscore issues. So now I have my 2 tables. I have my risk table and I have my issues table. Very nice. So what do I need to do? I need to save this, and I would need to store this somewhere that my Power BI can actually leverage. So let's try and get that from the desktop, because yeah, that's basically where we all start, right? So here is our desktop. Here are, well, this is a little sneak peek. These are 2 videos that are upcoming. So using the new Project Web App Power BI template. Sorry. So this is the using the new Project for the Web Power BI template. And I'm going to also talk about the decomposition tree. But that's not why we're here today. Sorry about that. We're about talking about risk matrix. So this is the Excel file, and let's try and grab that with Power BI. So let's go. Get data. One of the first is Excel, which is very nice. And let's grab that from the desktop. So here is risk matrix part 2. So once this is loaded, you get the chance to actually grab these 2, and let's click on transform data, and let's see what it actually contains. So there's an issue here. Unexpected error. Evaluation was cancelled. Well, yeah. Let's see. Risk. And click on that again. Refresh. Yeah, there you go. All right, so we have two tables. We have the risk table and we have the issues table. And we're going to start with the risks table. Now, what did we need to do on the actual risks from Project Online? Well, we added all these values, right? So let's see what we need to add here as well. It starts somewhere with the adding the probability grid. So let's go into the advanced editor and let's grab everything from the adding the probability grid, and let's click on done. Let's go to the table risks, go to the advanced editor, and we'll need to add a comma here and get all this in here. Now there's one thing that I need to check, is the table risk source. This is actually the first thing that's going to happen. And we're going to grab this and we're going to change this here. Now what this is going to do is it's going to append the add probability grid to the table risk source thingy. So let's click on OK. And let's see if that actually did what I wanted it to do. There's no issue, which is very cool. And here we go. So these are all the values that I needed to have. So let's get these two. Let's get these two being decimal numbers. Do I actually need that? I tend to forget. So, but these, the grids, is very important. And here we go. Let's grab these ones as well, and let's make that decimal numbers as well. Maybe I should have that as whole numbers, but no, I think decimal numbers is correct. So let's build that little puppy, and yeah. So click close and apply. Once that's loaded, it has these two new tables here on the right. Currently, this still is looking at project data, but yeah, I can just easily grab the information and I can say, okay, well, this one is a risk count and it's on 1.1, right? So what did we do? We had risk count, which is actually a measure. Let's have a look at that measure. Yeah, this is so that we have a 0 if there's nothing there to show. So we're going to grab this, the risk count, and we're going to add that to our table. So we're going here and we're going into the risk table. We're going to create a new measure. And that measure is going to be a copy of the one that we had in risks. And instead of count rows risks, we're going to say count rows table underscore risks. Table risk it is. And there you see that it actually finds it so that you know that you have the correct name. And we're going to do that with this one as well. So now the big trick is let's rename this one to table underscore risk count so that we don't feel that we have a mismatch. So what do we need to do? Instead of taking that risk count that we have here, which is actually this risk count, right? We need to have that that 25 grid here that says that this is 1.1, 1-1. This is 2-1, this is 3-1, 4-1, 5-1. Remember that we had to fill all those values in. Well, here we go. And I'm going to speed this up again so that we don't have to wait too long. I'm just going to speed this up. Okay, wow. That took way longer to do than probably that you watched it. But damn, that was a lot of clicks. A couple of things to keep in mind here is that you clicked on this and the newer Power BI has a separate filter pane. And it's very useful because it tells you which filters are actually active and it gives you the option to actually lock them so that no one can change this when they're looking at it online, which is good. A couple of other things, and I don't think that I'm able to do this right here, but there is an option to actually hide this data in the new Power BI. Now, I think I need to edit something in the settings. I'm not going to do that right now. But what we do want to see is a change in these numbers, right? So we're going to go into the Excel and we're just going to add a couple more risks. So let's do this the fast way. And is this the reason why you people wanted to do this in Excel instead of Project? That it's so wicked fast? Well, I can't blame you. Risk EFG. Well, let's screw up the alphabet a little bit here, and let's have Eric, Bill, Will, Dave again, and Hank. Hank, and actually the girl's name here as well. And for those of you who are in the know, you know that's my wife. So 40, 45, 60, 65, 30, 25, 40. Nope, that last one is going to be cancelled. And we want to have impact. So some pretty nice impact. And remember, impact goes from 1 to 10. So let's have some high numbers here, and let's just go about here. Now don't forget to save your data. Now this is saved, so that basically means that if I go into Power BI and then click on refresh, it's going to grab the new data. That doesn't look good. So what is the issue? Due to an error, column responsible contains a duplicate value. Okay, so Power BI thought that there was a relationship. Well, obviously there's no relationship between the table and anything else. Whoa, this is scary. So let's find that table and let's remove all those. Oh my. There are a lot. Delete. And yes, I do want to delete. Actually, there's manage relationships, and I can just go there. Oh wow, Did that screw up your speaker? It did for me. So let's excuse me. So let's find those risky tables. So this one I'm going to delete. Yes, and this one I'm going to delete. Yes, this one I'm going to delete. This is very strange, but actually pretty logical because I had this set to auto-detect relationships. And sometimes it works, sometimes it just doesn't. So let's see if everything is gone here. Yeah, that's it. So let's click on refresh again, and let's see what happens to our grid. So everything is starting to load, which is pretty awesome. And there we go. So we have two more in the yellow part where there's a lot of risk. There's the one here, there's the other one here, which is very nice. So the risk matrix based on Excel. You don't need to have project. You can just throw that out of the window. Microsoft, you didn't hear this from me, but well, still Excel, right? It's still Microsoft. So, but yeah, you can still have that risk matrix without having to have a project server. All you need is a very simple list with at least a project name. At least a risk name, a probability, and an impact, and you're good to go. So I hope you like this, and looking at the time, I'm actually going to cut this short. So the third question is going to be related to issues. And it's going to be an interesting one, but that will come later. So there's going to be a part 3. I hope you like this, this second part of the risk matrix in Power BI using data from Excel and looking into the subscription to the newsletter. So, and until next time, which is in 2 weeks.